Top five, top five, top five.
So let's talk about another video. I'm Strange Frank. He is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 Frances McDormand movies because of her fucking banger of a film, apparently, Nomadland. Oh, I've heard nothing but great things. But how do we do our top 5s?
So he's going to give his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4. 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we'll trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we'll save the conversation until we get to it on their list.
So my number 5 is Moonrise Kingdom.
It's my number 4.
Small role.
Very small.
Impactful, important to the story, small role.
Yeah.
It's a Wes Anderson film. He's amazing. His movies are amazing. His actors are amazing because he's so heavily involved in this. Frances McDormand played the part perfectly. She didn't overstay her welcome. She was in it just enough. Quirkiness, it was there. I liked it.
A lot.
I agree with all of that. Yeah. The quirkiness is perfect. She, like, her style fits into Wes Anderson movies and Coen brother movies, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, so well, because they both just have that, like, really, like, they just got that little something special to them, you know? So, yeah, her character is great. Plays her role perfectly, and really, like, her role is to just give you a very small side story to invest in while also helping you understand why, like, our 2 main characters, or at least the girl, because it's her mom, is the way she is. So, like, very integral, and really like it a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of Coen Brothers, my number 4 is Burn After Reading.
It's my number 5.
Oh, we got a little switcheroo there.
Yeah.
Same thing. The quirkiness.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I like her quirkiness, the style of quirkiness in Coen Brothers movies more. She also has a bigger role in this movie, so I feel like I'm not saying Burn After Reading is better than Moonrise, because
It's a lot of hogwash.
but her role's bigger. So Burn After Reading is the reason why I gave it the number 4 spot. Quirkiness is there. She works with the Coen Brothers very well. Everyone knows that. I'm sure we'll be talking about that and them 2 more later on, of course. But yeah, you know, I mean, you just have weird situations in this movie I love.
Right.
There's so many other big parts in this movie, even though she is the lead, like Brad Pitt's fucking hilarious, George Clooney. He's making bicycles with dildos on them.
What?
All kinds of crazy stuff in this movie. But she's very great. She fits the movie perfectly and doesn't, like... She adds to the movie, but it's not nothing to write home to mom about.
Yeah.
Because everything's on the same level of goodness.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, super quirky. I love the fast-paced dialogue in this film, and she fits into it absolutely perfectly. All the characters are, like, just weird as shit, and I love movies with really, really weird characters, and she just knows how to play that role really, really well. Not the best Coen Brothers movie, not the best Frances McDormand movie, but, like, it's still really good, and I like her role in it a lot.
It might still make top 5 best Coen Brothers movies for me.
Yeah, well, I said not the best.
Yeah,
Coen
I
Brothers
know.
movie.
Brad Pitt, that movie's the best. So, I think we're going to have another switchery doodah, whatever you want to call it, because it might even be as a Zemeckis. My number 3 is 3 Billboards.
That is indeed a Zemeckis.
Okay. My number 2 is Blood Simple.
I haven't seen it.
I believe it's the first Coen Brothers movie, which is a serious Coen Brothers movie. But you know Strange Wang. You might know Strange Wang as well, too. I like movies. Growing up, I liked movies. I liked action movies. And a lot of those action movies was Terminator, Aliens, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on this because it's the 80s and it's kind of sexist, but female empowerment, women kick ass. Linda Hamilton, for instance, in the Terminator.
Yeah.
Average Joe, average Jill, I don't know what to call it, comes a fucking badass, and you see this amazing character arc. I love movies like that, whether it's male or female, but because Frances McDormand is a female, we're going with Linda Hamilton and Terminator, you know what I'm saying? So you have this character arc of this, like, schmuck who, like, becomes a fucking badass. Same kind of movie. She's having an affair. She's getting fucking donkey fucked and, like, all this other stuff, you know, because, like, you're in an affair, it's wild, passionate sex, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting the whole face right at Adam, pile driver and shit, like...
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Great stuff, right? You have to act like that. Like you're in a new, fresh relationship. She's married. So in a scene or two later, she has to act like she's in this unhappy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Both roles. But then the unhappy husband finds out she's getting donkey fucked and power jobbed by a homeboy, and he can't beat him up. So he's like, fuck it. If I can't do it, I'm going to hire a hitman. So we get this very intense thriller, psychological-esque Coen Brothers film where Frances McDormand is being hunted by a serial killer, a hitman. And she has to fucking survival, man. You gotta become a badass. So we see in all these different roles in the character arc of her like overcoming and becoming a fucking badass in this excellent movie. So because she hits so much range in one role and one character arc, I had to put it on my list, and that's why it's my number 2. I love movies like that. It's a personal thing, like Linda Hamilton, like Ripley and Alien. I grew up with those movies. I love that role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a cliche. Let's call it what it is. It's a cliche. I love that cliche. Frances McDormand put in that cliche, knocked it out the park. All these different things, you know. And I just want to do the power driver on camera one time.
Wow.
On YouTube. I got power drivers on camera on other websites and videos.
We would get banned for that. So
We would.
at least if you're gonna do that, make a different channel and put it on there, and do not mention Cinetopical at all.
I would promote the OnlyFans, but me and her don't talk anymore. She's cheating me out of some money.
Nice.
No, it's not nice.
You love shysters.
I got on her OnlyFans.
You can't change your opinion on shysters just because you're the victim.
I got on her OnlyFans and her like fucking rate went up through the roof. I got used.
And abused.
No, I didn't get abused. It's all the way around. She was into freaky stuff.
Says you.
Whips and chains.
All right, so my number
My style.
3 is going to be a movie
I hope so.
that I just watched for the first time ever, and it's almost famous.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
My
you forgot
bad.
to bring me that.
My bad.
So I had to go find it online. But I did find it online.
Was it free?
Well, yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. But
Now I feel like a shitty friend because you had to pay for something.
well, I didn't pay for it. I just can't,
Oh.
That was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that. It was very good. And Frances McDormand's character, the reason it got like that mid spot on my list is, which is like, it's a top 5. So we're saying these are our, like, out of all the movies she's been in, these are our 5 favorites. So like really high on like the ultimate Frances McDormand list. Because I could just relate to that so freaking much, because I also grew up with an incredibly overbearing, helicoptery,
Is that a word?
just, yeah, you never heard the term helicopter parent?
No, no.
Yeah, just hovering, like, all up in your business mom.
Okay.
Who also legitimately, absolutely loved me and just, like, seriously only wanted the best for me. So, like, I love Frances McDormand's character in this movie because I can really just, like, I feel like what Charlie's feeling so much, because it's like, she's so annoying. I have this stuff, like, I just want to do things my own way. I'm growing up. I'm like becoming an adult. Like, I don't hold necessarily all the same values as my parents do, and I want to become my own person, but I'm still under their roof. So you have to deal with like this whole conflict of becoming your own person and like following your passions and things you care about, and deciding whether or not you saying fuck consistently in a conversation is something that's okay to do or not, when your parents think that you're going to go to hell for it. So like, I get it a lot, but then like there's that one phone call and it's just like, okay, well now I just completely agree with her. Like, these dudes that he's riding around with are complete and total absolute meatheads. They are like maybe not the best person for a teenager to be riding around the country with.
It's debatable.
She's overly critical, like, for sure. Like, they're not, as too brain-celled, as she put it, as, like, her perception of them is. But it shows that she ultimately really just cares about her son on a deep level, despite being way too freaking involved in his life. And so, like, that character has a lot of depth, and I just watched it, so I have a lot to say about it, and it's my number 3. My
I need to
number,
rewatch that movie.
yeah. So my number 2 is going to be Fargo.
That's my number 1.
Nice. Yeah. So, I mean, just like, it's an acting clinic, man. I mean, like, she goes off, like, from holding the voice the whole time. But I think what impresses me the most about her, like, holding that specific voice the whole time is that her character still has to show, like, a range of emotion
While being knocked up.
while being knocked up and, like, while maintaining this, like, kind of ridiculously slightly overdone Minnesotan accent. So, like...
Go ahead and do it. You do a good one. You peaked right there. You put it in there.
Oh, man. You want me to do my Minnesota accent? Don't you know? I mean, I can do a pretty good one.
I am not impressed.
But she holds it so well while still maintaining that range of emotion, while being knocked up, while walking around at the freezing fucking cold, which is why I will never live up there. But,
Big fucking facts.
yeah. And that movie just has a really good story, and she fits into it very nicely. So
I don't have to button up my shirt if I live there. But the reason why it's on my number 1 and it beat out the rest of these films on my list is because there's no other movie like it. And because there's no other movie like it, there's no other role like it. If we had to, this is very difficult because I love Lethal Weapon so much that we made like a top 5 cop movie, like cops in movies. She would have to take the back seat to raise the Murtaugh for sure.
oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
But as a cop, as a realistic cop in a realistic case, I love how she leaves that shit at home. I mean, she leaves work at work.
Yeah,
When
right.
she's with her husband, totally, not a totally different character, but it's like, that's a good fucking cop.
Yeah.
You know? That marriage is going to last because she knows how to be a good cop.
Yeah, good work boundaries.
So, because of the little things like that are foreign to cinema, like, oh, I got this big case, I gotta get the bag, I gotta get. Not this movie,
Yeah.
not this stereotypical cop. I love that about it. The role, obviously, like everything you said, I agree with because Frances McDormand is a great actor and she did this fucking film justice for sure, elevating the film. I say so myself because by her performance, you know, it's like that's one thing you remember from the performance is her accent. So because of that, and because it's like different from anything else she's ever done, even with Coen Brothers, because I have 3 Coen Brothers films on my list, that it had to be my number 1.
But wait! There's more!
3 Billboards is my number 1.
I watched this film. I enjoyed it. I don't understand why everyone loves it as much as they do. I think she did great in the film. I just think she did better films. Now, Frances McDormand is a phenomenal actress.
Clearly! No debating!
The movie for me, I was just like, why does every... I think my focus was more on why does everyone love this movie so much than really investing and paying attention to it because I saw it afterwards.
Oh, well, you should watch it again.
What's that movie that you was like, oh, you said the same thing. I didn't watch it with everyone else. Invisible Man. Everyone's like, oh, it's such a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like that. You know, the hype train is hit and you're like, oh, I gotta see this. Everyone's talking, I gotta see it. And you're like, yeah. It's this, the perfect example. Everyone has Disney Plus now. Go to Disney Plus, find the Recess episode where that happens. The one that, I don't remember who it happened to. I think it was Gus. But everyone saw this movie. His parents wouldn't let him see the movie because it was R-rated. And he got to school and he didn't know anything about it. When he finally saw it, it wasn't a great movie to him. Not saying it wasn't great. He just didn't understand why everyone loved it so much. That's my relationship with this film.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think this movie is great. You know, I definitely... The thing is I wouldn't say... you know, this is our favorite Frances McDormand performances, right? And so that's why it's my number 1. I definitely wouldn't say it's my favorite movie that Frances McDormand is in. But in terms of, like, her performances, this one is my favorite. Because I don't think any of her other movies show, like, the just absolute full range of emotion that her character has to in this film. Because there's, like, literally, like, almost everything that you could think of. There's happy, there's sad, and then those even get broken down to, like, like happy and sad at the same time, reminiscing about her daughter. Absolute total like grief and hopelessness. Small glimmers of hope. Like there's just this full like gambit of things that she has to deal with, from like ex-husbands to Peter Dinklage wanting to have sex with her, like to like and eventually it gets to the point where she just gets so fed up with people, or like with her feelings that people aren't doing everything that they can, even if that's not necessarily true, to the point to where like the lady snaps and like sets a whole police department on fire and gets away with it. So like, to me, that's what it is. It's like just this full range of emotion that she shows, the way that she delivers all of these lines, the way that she does, like it's a very stoic performance, right? So like, there's
sure.
and like that's kind of her in general. She doesn't do like a ton of like facial acting, so it's really all like it's all in delivery for her.
And her serious movies. And her quirky movies.
Like,
because like she's literally like not trying to put her in a box. You either get like super quirky Coen Brothers, Wes Anderson type movies where facial expressions play a lot in those performances, I feel like.
I think you should go watch Frances McDormand in those movies again. She does not use her face a lot. She uses her eyebrows a lot.
That counts as facial expressions.
Yeah, but it's not like, but that's not like a full range of facial acting, you know? Like she uses her, and I'm not saying that's not impactful. In fact, I would argue that the subtlety of it makes it more impactful.
We'll agree to disagree on this then.
So yeah, very stoic performance. It's just really heartfelt and endearing. But it's like, despite this hopelessness and anger that she has towards Woody Harrelson and the police department, like she still like has this goodness in her. So it's like all hope isn't lost. Like she defends her friend who owns a little gift shop. Like she stands up for homeboy at the Caleb Landry Jones at the ad agency. Like she's still like a good person, and they also end up not murdering someone. So
One more thing!
Who does Frances McDormand's film characters have sex with first? Peter Dinklage, Asian guy, Fargo.
What are you talking about, the Asian guy from Fargo?
Yeah. Like her character. Which one do you think?
So which one was going to cave first?
Yeah.
Well, probably 3 Billboards, because Fargo, Frances McDormand is very much so like in love and loyal to her husband. She's not going to cheat on him. So by default. Plus, Peter Dinklage did get a date out of it.
That's true.
Even if it did get awkwardly ruined by an ex-husband.
Oh, that's true.
And his bimbo girlfriend. Who ends up being pretty smart.
We asked the important questions on something topical. If you can't tell. Tell me your top 5 Frances McDormand films down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe.